After dropping for 6 consecutive weeks, the number of Manhattan homes that went into contract finally went up. We had 47 residential real estate contracts signed in New York City for new homes. Just last week, we saw 31 new contracts in New York City, which was a record low. With high end really taking a hit, there were just 2 contracts signed last week for properties above 4 million. So people are wondering if that means cities are losing favor with buyers. And I'll summarize a report by the Brookings Institution, a Washington think tank, towards the end of the video that addresses this question. Hey everyone, I'm Tom O'Byrne, a real estate agent with Douglas Sullivan Real Estate, the #1 brokerage in New York. I make videos on the New York City and Long Island real estate markets. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to stay up to date. So the losing streak is over. 47 new contracts on homes last week in Manhattan. Normally this time of year, though, we'd be seeing well over 400 contracts signed weekly. This number is down 87% from the same week last year. So while it's too soon to call this a full-blown recovery, obviously, it has to start somewhere. The positive take is that this number of new contracts is trending upwards, and I think that we'll continue to see that as the real estate industry adapts to the new way of doing business and buyers are feeling comfortable doing business in this environment. So more signs for positivity in city real estate. New listings are on the rise. According to a new report from Urban Digs that has been following these trends closely since the start of the shutdown. New listing activity, which had plunged, looks as though it had finally reversed course over the past 7 weeks. That's a great sign. We saw a 17% increase to 96 new listings, up from 82 the week before. This week, though, in 2019, there were 442 new listings, so that's over 300 less this year than last. Again, this isn't to mark a full-blown recovery, it's just signs pointing to the beginning of one. Noah Rosenblatt, CEO of Urban Digs, said buyers, sidelined by stay-at-home orders, remain firmly in a wait-and-see mode, but he thinks that we are seeing the bottom in terms of market activity. And that has really been what Noah has been all about since he has begun tracking this, finding the bottom of the market, and he thinks that we're approaching it. The number of delistings, people who are taking their homes off the market and making them unavailable for sale, is going down. So sellers are either seeing a light at the end of this tunnel or they don't want to wait any longer to find out what the market will look like for them. I think a lot of these sellers either have to sell or might be trying to make the limited inventory work in their favor right now. But the pandemic's effect on sale prices, that remains unclear. It will be another 6 to 8 weeks before true COVID transactions begin closing and pricing can be analyzed. But the numbers being discussed here are going to be important moving forward to a larger question circulating. Will the health pandemic be the end of the appeal of cities? And largely the sentiment is no. A report by the Brookings Institution, a Washington-based think tank that conducts research primarily in economics, metropolitan policy, governance, foreign policy, global economy, and economic development, they are definitely saying that this is not the end of cities. I'll put a link in the description to that report, but in that report they write, diseases and pollutants have long endangered central cities' residents, spurring demand for country homes during polio outbreaks or suburban houses far away from polluting factories. Yet cities were resilient through those crises, as well as more modern issues related to crime and terrorism. Central cities will continue to have modern broadband infrastructure, advanced healthcare systems, and shared civic spaces like street space to help weather disease outbreaks. Just as importantly, cities have a long record of rebuilding to promote future resilience. They go on to say, herein lies the fundamental driver. Downtowns concentrate assets and giving locals and those living further away access to densities of jobs, shopping, restaurants, government services, entertainment venues, and more. The fundamental power of agglomeration cannot be stopped. So while diseases will come and go, we can always retrofit our cities to make us feel safe while delivering the proximity we crave. Something that the Brookings Institution doesn't directly talk about, but you can infer from their report, while I do think you will see a surge in popularity for suburbs after the crisis, the reality is that suburbs aren't about to have any major increase in their supply. You won't see even 100 new homes go up in a suburb over the next few years, the way you'll see a new skyscraper go up in Dumbo, like the one that was just announced by Rock Rose Development. It's going to have 609 apartments and retail. I'll make a video about that shortly. And anyone who's ever lived in a suburb and paid attention to its politics can tell you, change doesn't come quick. The residents like for their neighborhoods to maintain a certain feel. So in suburbs, even if the demand increases, the supply won't match it. because the appeal of the suburb will increase even amongst its residents, which will keep homes from being listed. But meanwhile, cities, they are zoned for widespread development and already have the infrastructure for things like water and electricity in place. So even if everyone wanted to move to the suburbs, which won't happen, they can't. However, all this being said, I do think we are on the precipice for a big push to small towns and suburbs for the next 2 years, at least much like after 9/11. And like the Brookings Institution finds, the suburbs won't be able to match the lifestyle and vibe cities provide, a lifestyle that's become increasingly more in demand for the last 15 years. And eventually, there will be a vaccine or something like that allows for life to resume more normally, and cities will regain the favor that they had before March 2020. But I'd love to hear what you think on the topic. Do you think cities will be losing favor? Are you personally rethinking where you'll be living in the future? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Again, on this channel, I make videos discussing the New York City and Long Island real estate markets and the topics that affect them. If you're interested, hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit like. Thanks for watching. I'll be posting a new video tomorrow.